Hello. um, my name is Courtney, and this is officially the first episode of Hello, I Have Anxiety podcast. I'd like to preface this podcast by saying that I am not a psychological professional. I am not a medical professional in any way, shape, or form. I do see a therapist, so I am not self-diagnosing myself with anxiety. It's something I deal with. And this podcast is not about spreading information about anxiety. That's not what this is. This is living regardless. It's defying every neuron in me that tells me I can't do it. It's starting the conversation about the fact that you can be a real life extrovert and you just can't seem to let any of it out because you're scared everybody's gonna hate it. So I'm gonna jump right in because when I tell you it's taken me so long just to sit down and even try to do something like this, it's taken me forever. So why would I hold it up? Let's just go for it. So the first leg of this podcast, the first season, I'll say that, because as we all know, anyone who has experienced anxiety, we understand that it's not necessarily the kind of thing that just goes away. You have phases of life where everything you do feels like a great idea, you're confident, you feel like your full self. And then you go through phases of life where you feel like it causes you anxiety to pick out a pair of socks. Ridiculous, right? So this is the first season because for as long as it takes, for as long as I can, and for as long as you all will let me, I will take you with me as much as possible as I say fuck it and do it anyway. Because starting today, that's what I'm doing. So this first season is called Things I'd Never Say. I'm calling it that because I think that's where I need to start personally. I need to start with the things that I don't talk about. I need to start with the things that I keep in about myself that there's no reason for me to keep in aside from me being anxious about the result. And I need to start with the things that I'm ashamed of, because we all have things we're ashamed of, and at the end of the day, we get to forget about them at some point. We get to forgive ourselves, forgive anybody who had anything to do with it, and we get to move on. So, nice and easy. I'm gonna start with a list of things that I never really tell people about myself. Very small and minute things. We're not digging into my childhood trauma today. That's not happening. That's a middle of the season, find out if y'all actually like me kind of revelation. But we're gonna start with things that are simple, that used to mean nothing to me to talk about, and now I don't say them for stupid reasons. I used to sing. I used to love to sing. When I was early teens, my best friend and I were in a church choir. It was not the church either one of us went to. We used to sing all the time when we would hang out. We would sing in her bedroom, we'd sing in my bedroom. It was part of our sleepovers, and we used to love to sing. And one day she decided she wanted to join a church choir because they had a youth choir and they were looking for people. It was a very small church. And she asked me to do it with her, and I did. And I enjoyed it. I was a little anxious about it because it was in front of people, but I did it, and apparently I was good because I got to lead songs and I felt like a winner. And I don't really think that I've ever tried to do anything singing-wise since. I've never had any aspirations of being a professional singer. It was never anything like that, but just something that I found enjoyment in, that the older I got, I muted it. And to this day, I don't really know why. And even for fun, I can never bring myself to sing anymore because I've packed so much behind it about whether or not I'm good enough, whether or not I sound good or not, that I don't even do it for fun. So it's kind of ridiculous. I used to dance, and I used to dance a lot. And no, I was not a pole dancer, for all you funny people. No, but I used to dance. I was trained in ballet, tap, jazz, African, lyrical, all types of things. I started when I was little. My whole family danced pretty much. Well, the women. My father does not dance. I really used to love it. As I got older, I realized that I'm more of a creative than I am a performer, and so I started doing choreography when I was in high school, and that was where I really felt at home, was the creative portion. Ran into some bumps as far as relationships in high school went, friendships primarily, and I think that at some point I kind of lost the love for it. Once again, it wasn't something that I ever really saw myself doing professionally. It was really just more like a creative outlet. It was something I loved to do. I think it fostered my love for creating art in any way, shape, or form. All of these things were just bits and pieces of the fact that I am at heart a creative. So I don't really dance anymore. Most of the people I hang out with now don't even know that I was a good dancer. They don't know that I was a choreographer. And it's just because I don't talk about the things. I have a friend now who is a professional dancer. She's wonderful. And I think I've allowed myself to feel like, well, she's the dancer in the group. I shouldn't say anything. I've allowed myself to feel overshadowed, and for no reason. At no point has she ever tried to overshadow me. That's never been a thing. She's never done that. That was my own thoughts. That was me. And these are the things we're getting away from. So let's continue the list though. I've never really been good at keeping friends. This is a tough one for me because you need friends. I know we like to say that it doesn't matter, like, oh, you have your family, but for one, not everybody has family. For two, not everybody has a good one. And friends are the family you pick. It's different because whether we like to admit it or not, everybody sees different sides of us in life. And your friends see the side of you that probably is more true you than the side that your family sees, especially in my case. So I was never really good at keeping friends, and I think part of it was because I always felt the need to perform. And I can't tell you that anybody was making me, because I don't believe that to be true, if I'm being honest. I believe there were moments where I had friendships that were a little more demanding and a little less natural. But I think a lot of it sprung from myself. I was doing it to myself, and I can't really explain why. I was judging myself. I was afraid that people wouldn't like me for real. And so when I got tired of performing, because you always do, you always get tired of performing, because you wake up one day and realize that you're measuring yourself by your performance, I guess, or your achievements, which is a big thing for me, but we'll get there. And then all of a sudden you're like, well, you guys don't love me for real. And you're probably right, but it's not their fault. It's because they don't freaking know you. And yes, it's hard for you to be yourself because you're worried. But it's a requirement of life. You gotta figure it out. You gotta do it. Because you can't be mad that nobody loves you if nobody knows you. Because the longer people are around you, the more they realize that they don't know you. Because they don't understand why things make you mad. They don't understand why things make you sad. They don't know how to make you smile. And then they feel like a failure. And nobody wants to be around that. This is not victim blaming. This is not Xing out the fact that anxiety is a true health concern. It's the things you don't say. It's the fact that everything in life is a battle. Addiction, grief, and you still have to decide. We're deciding. And I said we. Okay, next. I used to be a bully. Yeah, when I was a kid, like young, like elementary school, I was an a-hole. I was a bully. So, and I'm not saying that with pride, I'm being honest. So, because I think, I'm sure it started there somehow. I'm the youngest. I have 2 older siblings. And growing up, my household was very big on academics and things like that. And while, my parents loved us regardless, academics and like extracurricular activities, we did a lot of that type of stuff. So academics were never difficult for me. If I could be a professional student, I would. Unfortunately, that's not really a thing. They make you pay for education, and so it's more of a hindrance. But I was a bully. And I think part of, and I can't tell you why. Some of it was because I was the youngest and I was spoiled. And when I got to school, I expected everybody to treat me the same way. I'm going to assume. Not that I remember every ounce of my elementary school career, but I'm going to assume that that's part of it. And in addition, I have had control issues since I was a kid. Some things that were probably fostered in the home. Nobody's perfect. I had great parents. They just had their issues. Have their issues. I'm very blessed to say they're both still here. But yeah, controlling a situation gives you a better chance of predicting the outcome. I wanted to be in control because as the youngest, I didn't get a lot of that at home. Not without manipulation, not without, creating a situation where I got to be in control. I was the same way at school. And so that quickly became not being able to hang on to friends because you don't know who your friends are when you're a bully. Half of them are just hoping you don't pluck their hair out. Yes, I used to pluck a girl's hair out. Not proud of these things. Honesty. But let's move on because that's a tough one. It'll roll back around later on this season. I promise you, because lots to unpack there. And don't worry, this is not going to be a therapy session for me. We just have to, you have to get to know me. So that's what we're doing here today. And last one, before we get into the next phase of the things, I hide my gifts because I'm afraid of not being gifted. And I kind of feel like that goes along with some of the other ones I already brought up. But in general, I hide my gifts. I kind of always have. When I was younger and, mom and dad had us in this extracurricular activity and that, it was a little more difficult because, there's dance recitals and there's this and there's that. And I went to performing arts high school, so I didn't have any choice but to, use it a bit. But trusting my gifts from the standpoint that it's just me. It could ever bring me my future. It could ever be my job, like that I could ever actually be good enough to do this for a living, or that I'm good enough to let other people see it in general. I don't do that. And it has caused me a lot of unhappiness in life because I continuously work jobs that I hate because I'm afraid to show my gifts. I am genuinely a creative person. Like I said, I've also always been good at school, and I think that's what makes it difficult, is that I can exist in a right brain world where I go to work and I do the logistics and I do this and I do that. I can exist. But as of late, I've been falling all the way apart in that aspect of life, and it's because I hate it. It's not because I'm not capable. It's because I hate it. I loathe it. I am telling you, if homes were free, would not be going into that play. It's literally just the roof. Like, to be honest, I'm confident I can figure the rest of it out. It's the roof. So I go to work because I have to, because we all adults and we all do the things we don't want to do. But there's a point where you just have to stop doing the things you don't want to do just because they're what you're supposed to do. Because what the heck is what you're supposed to do? That's some crap we made up. Okay. So yeah, I had my gifts because I'm afraid that I'm the only one who thinks I'm gifted. And that sucks. Because in the spare moments that I do let people see me, and I mean truly see me, they're always like, wow, why don't you share this? This is why. Now, for all of the revelations in the world, they mean nothing if you don't actually do something. So, what are we going to do? Well, there are a few things that I am currently working on that are definitely out of my comfort zone. Some that are in my comfort zone but still scare me. And so let's talk about those. So first of all, just for a little context of what time period we're in, this is January 5th. It's the top of the year, 2026. And I need a change. Not want one, need one. I am at the point in life where it is either do this or do this. So that's why we're here. And so, a couple of things. So last year, I took a step out. So let's go back. I went to school. I have a bachelor's degree. My degree is in film and media studies. And so I've done a few things here and there with it for a very, very short stint. I was trying to be a photographer, and not that I don't like photography, because I do, because I would happily continue to do it. Circumstances happened. I lost my equipment. Well, it was stolen from me, and I did not take the time to replace it. I should have. I spent money on other things, and it wasn't like I'm really a frivolous person, because I'm not. I just, it's expensive, and spending large amounts of money at one time makes my head hurt. And so I never did it. And so I have a camera now at this point, but I never replaced the things in enough time to really like maintain that business structure. So at this point, it's pretty much gone. But in an effort to still find my way into my, media career, I, thanks to a friend, got aligned with a small business owner. And so I have been very vaguely, or sporadically, is a better word for that, doing some social media work for her. I wanted it to be more consistent when we first talked about it, but I do have a day job, and unfortunately it's a lot more demanding than I like, especially for the pay. And so between that and my personal life kind of attacking me in the last year and a half, I wasn't getting the things done. And so I was honest with her about that I really didn't have the capacity to maintain the pace that we had originally discussed. And she's a lovely person, and she was like, I understand, you've got a day job, life be lifing. Let me know when you can be more consistent, and I would still like to work with you. Yay. So in that interim though, when she has events at her business, she still allows me to come film the events, do her editing, and she does pay me. So it's a small thing, but I'm still technically working in my field. And on those days where I get to do those events and I get to film, and even the editing, and every time I do it, I get a little bit better, and it's a little bit smoother, and it's a little bit easier. It makes me so happy. It makes a huge difference. And so as scared as I was to even have the meeting with her and to show up to these things. Like, I'm nervous just about the outcome of the editing and the content and all these things. And I'm always thinking, like, she's gonna think that somebody else could do this better, yada yada. That's not the point. You're right, somebody else can do it better. I know someone else can do it better, but that's not the point. I'm doing it. And so I'm putting all my effort in, and that's what I need to do, is that I just need to continue that pattern. So that brings me to my next point. A thing that I need to work on in general: consistency. Consistency is a very difficult place in life for me. And I think, and it's not drive. And I've sat with that a lot because I've been concerned that I'm lazy. Lazy is not my problem. I'm not lazy. I don't mind doing the work to get good outcomes. I don't. My problem is the fact that, unfortunately, my brain likes quick turnaround, and life doesn't work like that. I get easily discouraged when I'm not seeing, for lack of a better way to put it, tangible dividend. If I'm not seeing a good outcome in what my brain has decided is a quick enough turnaround time, I get discouraged. And already being an anxious person, it just makes it even worse, because now I was already anxious to do it in the first place, and now I'm discouraged. I never want to pick it back up again. I'm running the other direction. You know, it just becomes a real battle. And then I'm couch potatoing, and then I'm telling myself I'm lazy, and you're not lazy. You're discouraged, and unfortunately you're sitting in it, which is a bad idea. So, a thing that I've always wanted to do, aside from that, and that is continuing, and as this show progresses, I will continue to give you updates on all of these goals that I'm telling you about, all of these outlets and things that I'm working on. I will keep you all up to date on things, and hopefully as time progresses, I'll be able to take you with me on some stuff so you can kind of see some things in daily action. So hopefully we can do that too. I have had a win at the top of the year. I have always wanted to go back to school. I have my bachelor's, but like I said, if I could be a professional student, I would. So the concept of going back to school to get graduate degrees is something I've always wanted to do. So I've officially been accepted into a master's program for something that I think will really help me propel me into some other goals. Some things I'm not going to talk about right now, but as they unfold more and I can really get into them, they will. I will discuss them. But I'm excited for this next phase. Right now my focus is scholarships and grants and raising money to pay for my education. And if I have to get a few loans, that's fine. The job I'm currently at does offer reimbursement, but I'm really battling with whether or not I think it's worth it for me emotionally and mentally to stay in this job, because when I tell you guys, I hate it. Thankful to have a job, because I know a lot of people don't, especially in this economy. But yikes, unhappy camper. So if I can find something else, that would be great. But all these things in due time, we'll see how it goes. So, but I'm really excited for this. Like I said, I really enjoy school, but that's one of the reasons why I really want to make sure I can set myself up to succeed in the classes, and not just get the degree, but do well, really get out of it what I'm trying to get out of it. And it just, I don't want to be wasting my time. School is definitely one of those things, you get out what you put in, and I'm looking forward to doing something that I'm good at again. We all need wins in life, and school has always been something that, as long as I put the effort in, I know I'm gonna get the reward out. And I think that's why I like school, because there's no catch. You study, you do the work, you get the good grades. And the catch to college is that it's supposed to help you get a career. So So there's a catch there. But delayed gratification is a different topic altogether. But school for me really does lean into that part of myself that appreciates immediate wins. And I can be truthful. I understand that that's a thing about myself that that's part of my personality. So it is what it is. Sometimes it works against me and sometimes it works for me. You know, just depends on what I'm doing. So that is the top of the year win. I got my acceptance letter over the weekend, and so I was very happy about that. I told my friends, I told my family, and everybody was very supportive, very encouraging. So I'm excited. Classes don't start in the fall though, so I have until August to get my first payment in and get everything settled, and then we kick off those classes in the fall. And I'm hoping by then that I am happy with my professional life, whether it's at the job I'm at or somewhere else, where I feel like I'm confident that I can properly plan to be able to take on my education. I know it's going to be a lot of work. That doesn't bother me. I just want to be able to set myself up for as much success as possible. So I'm not really sure if my current job is the place for that, but we'll have to see. And with that, so another thing I've been doing to try to work on myself in general is, and I know everybody doesn't feel the same way about this, and if this is not for you, I want you to know that this is not a religious podcast, but I am a religious person, and so it will be discussed. And if that makes you uncomfortable, I do apologize. Well, I'm not gonna say I apologize. I hope you find an outlet that makes you feel comfortable. But you are always welcome here, no matter what. And so I hope this inspires you to still look for something that makes you more comfortable. But I will not apologize for it because it helps me, and I'm a proud believer. With that, spending more time in my faith is something that I've been doing probably really head on in like the last year. I have always been a Christian, but being a Christian and being a practicing believer are not the same thing. And I've been more of a practicing believer in the last year. Still lots and lots and lots to learn, but and once again, consistency is a big thing for me in all aspects of life across the board. So getting into reading my Bible so that I'm not just, so that I actually know the doctrine. I'm not just sprouting, because I'm not one of those people. I don't like to sprout information. I want to know the information. So really getting into reading the Bible, going to church on a regular basis, which I've been doing a lot better at with going to church. I kind of fell off the last couple of weeks, but I will watch it at home generally, even if I don't go. And I do have a church that I go to on a regular basis, which is great. My best friend and her husband introduced me to it, so it really made me feel comfortable about it in the first place. So if you're trying new things, sometimes reach out to the people that you know that are already doing those things, because even if you don't end up sticking with that specific location or that specific style of whatever it is that you're trying, sometimes just having that help to start makes a huge difference. And it made a huge difference for me, because I like the church. I don't know that I'll be there forever, but for right now, it really is doing what I needed to do. And so I'm going to stick with it. So for Christmas, while we're on the subject, a friend of mine got me this book, The Bible in 52 Weeks. So obviously you're supposed to read it every week of the year. Haha, I have not started reading it yet. But like I said, it's only the 5th, it's not the 7th, which means we're still in the first week of the year. And so I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna make sure that before that, that by the time you see me again, I have at least read the first week and done the work in this booklet, because it does require some work. It has some lines and things for me to actually do entries on. I don't know why I decided to open this. You might not be able to see it. But either way, yeah. So it has things to do. It's not just a read along type of book. Yeah, of course I can't find any of the pages of lines. But people who are in your life who are willing to give you tools and extra things to help you like put yourself into the position and meet your goals that you're going for, exceedingly important, especially when you battle with anxiety, because sometimes breaking that wall and taking those steps is the hardest part for people like us. It's the hardest part for anybody, if we're being honest. It's just tenfold when your brain is overlapping all of your positive thoughts with negative ones. It just makes it worse. And so I'm not really one to, I don't tell people I have anxiety. Talk about things I never say. I don't tell people I have anxiety because it took me forever to even decide to go see a therapist. And that's primarily because I didn't want to, quote unquote, have a problem. But to be honest, denying the fact that I have more negative thoughts about myself than most people, and that I sweat like a pig because I'm never comfortable in any room, not because I actually sweat like a pig, because I'm like, I don't do this when I'm at home. Yeah, that's because at home you're not uncomfortable. So, it's, and all of those types of things just make you more uncomfortable. It makes you seem like you don't like talking to people. It makes you seem like you're not social. And that's not the truth. I like talking to people. I wouldn't call myself a people person, but that's just because, I don't know. I'm from Detroit. Who knows? We're not people. But I like talking to people. I'm good at conversation. I hold a great conversation. My diction is very nice. I enjoy the spoken word in general. And so the fact that I have such a hard time opening myself up to a room of people really actually grinds my gears, and it has cost me relationships. It has cost me opportunities. It has cost me just comfort. It has cost me raises simply because I have a hard time speaking for myself, whether it's positive, whether it's negative, whether it's advocating for myself, or whether it's just saying, yeah, I don't like this movie, I don't want to watch it. Like anything. It has caused me a lot of setback in the dumbest ways, simply because I have such a hard time saying the things. And it's not because I just don't care. It's not because I'm mean, which also becomes a side effect, because when you don't talk, people think you're not personable, and that's not the problem. I'm not personable. I have every thought running through my head that tells me you don't want me to talk. You're not interested in what I have to say, and that if I start talking, you're gonna look at me like I'm crazy because nobody wants me here. Yes. And obviously that's asinine, but that's how it feels. So, yeah. So that's what we're doing. Call to action for myself. And if you watch this and it inspires you to give yourself calls to action, please put them in the comments, send me a message. I would gladly take all the encouragement I can get and provide all the encouragement, and provide some encouragement. I can't say I can be all the encouragement you need, but hopefully if other people comment, we can all encourage each other, and we can all find support in the fact that we are outgoing people. We just need to stop talking ourselves onto the ledge. I talk myself onto the ledge. If anybody else does that, this is the podcast for you. Because we're coming off of it. We are coming off of that ledge. It's happening. So, I think I've talked to your ear off enough for today. I hope I wasn't just ranting. I hope this feels like the start of something, because for me it is, and I promise as this goes on, I will get better. I will evaluate myself. I will take your notes and your commentary. Please leave them. But I want to end this episode with a poem. because that's one of my gifts. I have always been a writer. Before I was a singer, before I was a dancer, I was a writer. The pen and the paper are my happy place. Before I picked up a camera, before I did anything, that was my creative outlet. It started off as a diary and then it became creative writing. Short stories, poetry, hopefully one day a screenplay, all these things. And so during this season where things that I'd never say is the topic of conversation, I will end each show with an original piece. And I hope it speaks to you. I hope it inspires you. And I hope it reminds you that it's not just you. You're not the problem. You're just dealing with one. It doesn't define you. And you can manage it day in and day out, and not just manage. You can defy it. You can ignore it. You can be all of the things that you just swear you're not. You can be all the things that you know you are, and your brain likes to trick you into believing you can't be. So, here we go. I wish I was like that, you know? Some people just have this confidence about them. No matter how hard they fall, it can't be cracked, it can't be disrupted, or at least you'll never see it. The kind of self-assurance where you could stand in the middle of a room full of your peers, stretch out your arms to the heavens and shout the first thing that comes to your mind because you know it's gonna be gold. Or at the very least, you know everyone will still love you when it's over. I'm an entire world away from that. I've never considered myself to be great at anything. There's not a single task, hobby, hairstyle where I've deemed myself great. Now, some people, they can just wake up and know that they have it. I admire them. In truth, I envy them. I want to believe in my own work. I want to know that outside validation is necessary in the tangible, but not thrive on in the psychological. I want to know the dividing line between alone time and being lonely. Where never wanting to be in the house goes from being social to being afraid of your own thoughts. I just want to know what it takes to be self-motivated and self-validated, to get to the point where no one has to tell you you're meant for greatness. You're meant for greatness in order to know that you are, to believe it when you hear it. Because even in my best moments, where I'm living and believing it and seeing my own glow, something settles in. And I remember that everyone can't be Beyonce. And I begin to wonder if I was born to be ordinary. Because the fact is, someone has to wait the tables at the restaurant. Someone has to bag the groceries and plant the trees and collect the trash. See, we all like to think of ourselves as the director of our own life, but what if we're just cast and the leads have already been given their lines? What do you do when the curtain opens and you're standing in the chorus? Do you assume it's temporary and risk being wrong? Or do you just play your role? I have no answer. All I know is I haven't been shouting in any rooms, and I can't be heard from the chorus. I can't be heard from the chorus. This is entitled Things I'd Never Say. And this was written approximately in 2019. Thank you for joining me. Until next time.